Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Wolf of the West YouTube channel. It's gonna be my first YouTube video, my first review and all that. So yeah, hopefully y'all enjoy. The first show I will be reviewing is Trapped in a Dating Sim. It's kind of like a goofy show to start with, but hey, it's the last thing I watched, so it's somewhat fresh on my mind. So yeah, it's only 12 episodes long. It's not too much to invest into it and watch it. The story starts off with a guy getting blackmailed by his sister to complete this video game for her. She wants us to complete it because she wants the music at the end of it. She wants the bonus credits or whatever that is. So yeah, he has to play the dating sim game. So he plays it for like let's say a week straight. Like he doesn't sleep. That's what it seemed like. So he kept playing the game until he got very tired and finally beat the game. He goes outside. He trips and falls to his death maybe. I personally think he got into like a coma since he played the game so much. He kind of just dreams about the game while he's in his coma. That's my theory on how it all started. But yeah, so that's how the premise starts. He gets stuck into the game, and he actually lives for 10 years as a boy, grows up inside of the game. So it's kind of like his real life at that point because it's been 10 years. That's what the anime says. So yeah, 10 years later, the story actually starts. They start showing us what happens. When it comes to the production of the show, it isn't really too outstanding or anything amazing. It's kind of basic, but it doesn't have to be crazy. It's more of a like a narrative driven story, not narrative, but dialogue driven. That's the word. It's more of like a dialogue driven story. So yeah, they have action scenes which are pretty. Yeah, I don't like the action scenes at all. But yeah, but it's mostly just them speaking and joking around and things like that. So the production was decent. I watched it in dub. People hate dub for some reason, but when it comes to comedy, I normally watch dubs because you just pick up on things like a sarcasm and jokes in it, and jokes are pretty good when it comes to the dub. It was kind of cringe sometimes, but hey, like anime humor isn't always the best. So yeah, the production was decent. It was solid. Now the characters were great and bad at the same time because the main character carries the show easily. But yeah, first let's speak about Prince Julius and his homies, the entourage, whatever you want to call it. So they're like hilariously over animated, and it's just like every time I see them, I just laugh because it's like you could tell that like the game was built for them to have twice the budget as everybody else. This is like NPCs. Well, they're all NPCs, but those are the main characters, and yeah, they're all pretty funny. They're like so generic that it's like it's pretty funny to watch. So yeah, I'm glad that the show is more of like a parody. The prince and all his homies, they all have each like one specific stereotype of anime characters, video game characters. So yeah, they're all pretty funny to watch. In like a normal anime, I would hate them, but in this one, it fits the context pretty well because they're video game characters. So yeah, they all had they're pretty funny moments when they interacted with the main character. So yeah, and when it comes to the women on the show, like none of them were very memorable at all. There's only about like three of them. His sister is in the game, which is kind of funny. But even her, she doesn't really have too many moments of her, having any interesting dialogue among herself. She knows that she's inside the game, but it's still kind of underwhelming. And then the two love interests of the main character, they're both they're both very bland. Like one of them's a little bit more mean, the other one's a little bit more nice. But like I said, they're video game characters, so they're like very bland. I think the writers kind of got away with like a really easy anime to make because they knew that they had to put any work in when it comes to these side characters because they're like painfully boring. But yeah, so they're pretty forgettable. They weren't really bad, the women at least, but yeah, they were pretty forgettable. So now let's talk about the heroes, not one but two. We got Leon and Luxion, and these two are just hilarious when it comes to a duo, a comedy duo. It's one of the best comedy duos I've seen in the past few years when it comes to anime. Like they're both very funny. They're like on screen like 100% of the time. Then you have Luxion. Luxion is the reason why Leon is so overpowered in the first place because he provides them with all the weaponry and all the data, and he's basically like a cheat code for Leon. So they go together very well. And Luxion knows that Leon is kind of like goofy, so he'll like make fun of him. He's very sarcastic. Leon plays the antagonist role of the whole academy because everybody kind of hates him because he came out of nowhere. He's dominating everybody. Everybody's all like a spoil, so it's kind of weird seeing somebody rise up so quickly. So yeah, he's like the antagonist, but he's a good person. He has plenty of chances to be even more like dirty and scummy. He's like hit on the girls too much. He doesn't do anything too pervy. But yeah, overall he's a pretty good character. He definitely carries the show. as a whole. So yeah, Leon, he's a pretty fun character. Okay, now it's time to ask a couple questions about the anime. So my first question was, when will Leon and Marie find out they're like related to each other, and will they start like working together to actually leave the dating sim, or like finding more ways to exploit it? I'm not sure how that will work. That would be a pretty funny interaction whenever they do find out who each other are. That would be pretty funny. So if you have to die to get into the dating sim, I wonder how did Marie die, because it was only 10 years that passed between when Leon got into the game in the first place. So I'm wondering what happened when it comes to her. That's why I think that they're just both in a coma. Okay, now it's time to give the show my final review. So overall, I'm gonna have to give it like a 7. Normally it would be like a 5 or a 6, but because of the comedy moments kind of carrying the show, like you're saying, the main character was very funny. I'm gonna give it a 7. And it's worth a watch if you just want something very like lighthearted, something without much to like think too hard while you're watching it. It's just like more of like a guilty pleasure, as people would say. But yeah, it's pretty good. I'm looking forward to a season 2. I want to see the season 2. That's how I know that it's not like a 6 or a 5, because actually looking forward to seeing more of the show. So yeah, overall, it's a pretty good anime, and yeah, I recommend it. So everybody, thanks for watching the video. Any likes or comments would be appreciated, and yeah, have a blessed day.